This case starts off like a simple car repair dispute, but quickly spirals into a legal mess involving multiple auto shops, missing receipts, and a shocking question: who is actually responsible? One woman claims she's been bounced between businesses, stuck paying thousands for repairs that never fixed her car. But here's the twist. The man she's suing says he wasn't even the owner when all this happened. So now the courtroom is left with one critical question: can you hold someone liable for a business they didn't even own at the time? Let's break this down.
Can you spell your name, sir?
Hamze. Last name Mourad.
Hamze Murad. Thank you. All right. So today is the date scheduled for a small claims hearing. So you're giving up the right, if you proceed in the small claims division, both of you are, to seek in excess of $7,500, to appeal my decision, to demand a jury trial, and to hire a lawyer. You don't have to give up those rights. If you want to preserve any one or more of those rights, just tell me. I will remove the case to the General Civil Division, in which case you can hire a lawyer, you can have a trial by jury, you can appeal my decision, and to the extent that you might be entitled to a plaintiff, you can seek in excess of $7,500. Do you understand that?
Yes.
And do you understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Do you wish to waive those rights and proceed here, or have the case removed? Ms. Lawrence?
You can proceed.
You waive those rights?
Yes.
Sir,
Yes.
you waive those rights?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you both to raise your right hand. Solemnly swear affirm under penalties of perjury that the testimony you will give in these proceedings will be the whole truth, so help you God. Ms. Lawrence?
Yes.
Mr. Murad?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so tell me what you're saying. Car repairs, misrepresentation of ownership. I don't know what you...
Right away, the judge is doing something very important. Here he's making sure both parties understand. They're waiving major legal rights by staying in small claims court. That includes giving up a jury trial and limiting how much money they can recover. This is crucial because once they agree, there's no going back. A lot of people overlook this moment, but it can completely shape the outcome of the case. Quick question: would you risk giving up your legal rights just to speed things up? Or would you move to a higher court for a bigger claim?
What you mean by that?
Well, Your Honor, if I can, because I am very nervous, I kind of prepared myself a little thing here so I didn't get sidetracked in any way. I'll just like start at the beginning. I found my car on July 6th. I drove out on July 9th and I paid cash for my car.
So you bought a car?
Yes.
Okay, where'd you buy the, good.
I purchased it at EHE Recycling in Marine City. And I drove out and I paid cash for this car that day. When I got home, the engine light come on. So I took it to Greg's Auto here on West Road. I've had my car done there many times in the past with a few older gentlemen that owned the shop, I believed. Anyways, they found a bunch of codes pop up. I had to pay $241 that day just to find out basically what was wrong with the car. So then I took it back and I worked with the gentleman there and they told me I needed a whole new engine. So
Greg's did.
this was October 7th.
Yeah, but his people told you.
Yes, Greg's Auto. I took it to Greg's Auto.
Now this is where things start getting messy. The plaintiff explained she paid for diagnostics, then was told she needed a full engine replacement already, a huge expense. But here's the red flag. Her car gets moved to another shop without her knowledge. That's a serious issue because legally, transferring a customer's vehicle without consent can create liability. It raises a big question. Who actually took responsibility for the car at that moment? And more importantly, who should be held accountable if something goes wrong?
And I put down a deposit that day of $3,000 for the new engine. Well, he proceeded to take my car for whatever reason out to Fastlane Auto Center in Redford, Michigan. I had no knowledge my car was out there until I went inquiring to pay the bill to pick up my car. So I go to Fastlane Auto, I pick up my car, and I get, I think it was Sibley Road in 275, and my car completely died. A tow truck had to come and get it. So they took me back to Fastlane Auto, and apparently now a faulty turbo blew my whole brand new engine. So at this point, I'm on the side of the road, like just flabbergasted and curious to say the least. So I take my car back out there. I waited, I believe it was,
This is the breaking point of the story. Imagine paying thousands for a new engine, only for your car to break down on the highway minutes later. That's not just frustrating, it's potentially evidence of faulty workmanship or even misrepresentation. And listen carefully, the plaintiff suspects that the first new engine may have never even been installed. If that's true, we're no longer talking about a simple repair dispute. We're talking about possible fraud. What do you think? Does this sound like incompetence or something more intentional?
say almost 7, 8 weeks. And he tells me, well, I'm gonna do you a solid. We got you a brand new engine from Fords this time. I had the receipt, everything's great. I'm like, awesome. So I'm stoked at this point. Get my car home. I'm trying to recoup money, figure out what happened. How did I somehow have to go through 2 engines, wait this whole time? I've never once been able to speak with the same gentleman. Just this.
So this was Greg's that told you we're gonna get a new engine from Ford.
By this time, whoever the person was that I paid at Greg's Auto, they took my car on themselves out to Redford.
The fast lane.
Yes.
And then you got the car back, but then you had it
Well,
stalled.
at this point, they're telling me, well, now the car's out there, it's on them. And I'm like, well, wait, I have
Wait a minute, you
receipt.
drove the Sibley in 275, right?
Yes, I
Your
tried. to
car-
bring the
your
home.
car
It's
died.
good.
Your car died.
Yes.
So I guess who was telling you now we're gonna get the engine from Ford? Was it Greg's?
Well,
or-
they had no choice because what happened, and if you let me just tell you a little bit here, sir. I believe the first engine, quote unquote, that they say went in my car never did. I believe they tried to swap out a turbo and it blew the so-called new engine that they had me believing I had got.
From fast lane.
Right. Well, because that happened on the freeway before I even made it home, they picked up my vehicle with a stretcher, had to take it back to fast lane. So at this point, I believe they're scrambling because I'd already been asking for a receipt several times for this new engine, Jasper engine that nobody could track down. So I'm past this, I'm stewing on my car. I'm like, I'm in $6,000 already with these people. What am I gonna do? Getting pointed fingers. That's what's going on. So at this point, I'm scared.
Well, you were in $6,000 because you paid $3,000 for the
I
car.
paid $3,000, then I owed a balance.
And then you were gonna
Now, the financial weight of this situation really hits. She's already about $6,000 deep into this car and still doesn't have a working vehicle. This is where small claims cases often become emotional. Because for many people, this isn't just money, it's their daily transportation, their livelihood. The judge is carefully breaking down the numbers to understand the timeline. But the deeper issue is becoming clear. There are multiple parties involved, and no one is taking full responsibility.
get the engine for $3,000, right?
No, the engine total, sir, was. Sorry, let's go right back here. The engine total was going to be $5,589. And I put down $3,000 that day.
With Greg's.
Yes,
So now you got 6,000 into the car and you're still gonna owe 2,589. Okay, so then you get the car. Wait a minute, let me just, I want to make sure I'm understanding though. You picked up the car from fast lane,
yes.
you take it back.
This was supposedly with the first engine.
I know,
Good to go.
but on Sibley and 275, you stall out,
Yeah, it
right?
just.
I know.
When do not.
I know. And then these guys, Greg's is telling you, we're gonna take care of you. We're gonna get a new engine from Ford, right?
At this point, they're pointing fingers and saying, well, now you've got to deal with fast lane because that's where the engine was done. So I was going back and forth with both shops. I'm like, well, I paid you guys. I have a receipt. It's not my fault. Whoever was
To
there.
Greg's.
Yes.
Why'd you take it out to fast lane?
Your Honor, this has nothing to do with me. I'm a new owner at Greg's Auto, and I have all the papers from the state of Michigan, Laura, and everything. And I told Miss Ain, I'm a new owner, and I told her to take them to court,
They're next.
to take them to court. I'm Greg's Auto Service. There's it says it on her receipt, Greg's Auto Clinic. I'm Greg's Auto Service LLC. Theirs is Greg's Auto Clinic. When they left from Greg's Auto, I changed it to Greg's Auto Service LLC. So I'm a whole new different facility. I have my state tax ID, Michigan ID, all of them, and I started on 11/19 is when I did all the papers, and I have them here.
11/19 of 25?
2020.
Here comes the defense hand. It's a strong one. The defendant claims he is a completely new owner and had nothing to do with the original transaction. Legally, this is critical. If he truly purchased the business after these events, he may not be liable for past actions unless certain conditions are met, like assuming prior debts or fraud being involved. This shifts the entire case. So now ask yourself, should a new owner be responsible for the mistakes of the previous one?
And the first day I started was 12/1. Her paper says
12/1 of 24.
2024. I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there. And I didn't take the money from her. Like I told Miss Amy, these guys are they're scam artists. And whatever they did for them, they have many shops. And I told her, and when she came in, I told her that the girl that was working here at the shop, Brittany, she talked to her and she said they moved to Fast Lane and this is their second location. They have many shops and oil changes. And we told her to go there and see. I didn't take money from her. I never got paid. I didn't even touch her car.
So Brittany works for you now,
No,
but Brittany worked for them.
for them, they're her first cousins. And she's the one that she gave the money from me, Miss Amy?
No, whoever, the guy said his name was Sam. He was
Sam.
the
Sam
owner.
is the owner. They're Sam and Ala, Alaa, Hamani. I have the receipts and the names of Ala Talib. That's the name of the technician, which is the owner that worked on her car because it's still in my system. I have nothing to do with.
If I could just know a little further on, because we're actually kind of even past this part, to be honest. I mean, we're gonna stew on the wrong egg.
Well, wait a minute though, but he raises a point. How do you have liability against his company?
Well, because the only receipt I have for the engine is from his company.
Not from my company.
They took it out to this Fast Lane without my knowledge or permission at all.
Hang on a second.
It's Greg's Auto Clinic.
The judge is now zeroing in on the core legal issue, liability. And he's making it clear just because you have a receipt from a business name doesn't automatically mean the current owner is responsible. This is a classic problem in cases involving business transfers. If the wrong party is sued, the case can fall apart instantly. This is why identifying the correct defendant is one of the most important steps in any legal claim.
Miss Amy, I'm Greg's Auto Service.
So it's just a genie and I'm stuck standing.
Wait a minute,
I don't understand
Wait a
this.
minute, slow down. Slow down, don't start losing your cool now. When did you give them the check?
I gave them $3,000 cash on October 7th of 2024. And then they took my car to Fast Lane. Fast Lane did whatever they did. And
I know, but
replaced
he
the
didn't even
engine.
own the place then.
And I'm supposed to do what with it?
Have you ever seen him before?
Only after when I came a month later to speak to Sam and he was already gone.
You
But
don't-
my receipt from 30 days prior says I just gave them all this money for an engine.
Have you talked to a lawyer about this?
I have, and I already actually took EHE to court and I won a judgment against them for $1,100.
Who's EHG?
That's where I purchased my car. Because I was able to prove to that judge that whether he sold me the car with a faulty engine or faulty turbo was on me to prove. And because I'd already been told it needed a new engine, the judge did believe me, he paid me the $1,100 for the turbo. He said, Miss Lawrence, if I were you, I would proceed and just, the only receipt I have for this engine is for Greg's Auto. And the hard part is like, they took it out to Fast Lane on their own And then once all this.
He didn't own the place then.
But no, but neither shop, they're both doing this, neither one of them can see me and find, like, the person responsible. That makes no sense.
Whoever installed the second engine for her, it was Fast Lane.
Right, and they said he went back to your shop. I mean, Your Honor, I was so distraught with the situation that I literally started recording phone calls. And that's where I'm at with this. So they did do another engine. They claimed the second engine, which I do have a receipt for from Ford's. However, just this past Christmas, my car started doing the same thing, misfiring, acting up. And
Did you have to pay the balance?
Yes, I did when I picked up the car.
Where'd you pick that up at?
Fast Lane Auto.
Well, but he didn't have anything to do with Fast Lane, ma'am.
They're the ones that took my car out there, sir. I never even gave them.
He didn't own the place.
But somebody there drove my car out there. I never gave anyone permission to drive my car anywhere. They never once told me that they could not do an.
This guy didn't own it. He didn't own the place then.
You need to bring in the people that owned it at that time, which is, I have one of the guys' name, Sam Hamadi, and the other guy.
You can. He's not an insurance carrier, man. If Fastlane clearly, it sounds like Fastlane clearly did the work.
But
It sounds, let me finish. It sounds like you're shaking your head at me, and I don't know why. It's pretty clear to me. This guy didn't have anything to do with it. The prior owner took the car out you're smiling. Tell me what's so funny about
I
that.
just don't understand how it's.
At this point, the judge practically lays out the timeline himself, and it's very telling. According to him, the prior owner likely moved the car, authorized the work, and created the entire situation before selling the business. If that's accurate, then legally the responsibility follows the actions, not the building or the name. This is a huge realization in the case. The plaintiff may have a valid claim, but against the wrong person.
Okay, I was told the shop traded hands 5 times in like 2 months. That's absurd. And then when I go and I look at City Hall, they say, no, this place hasn't sold or traded hands since 2024. And then I'm standing there, we're talking about a lot of money here.
Man,
The owner of the building is still the same, Twins Auto.
Then why did my car end up there? Why did it end up at Fast Lane?
You're frustrating at me, and like I told you before.
and I sense that you're frustrating at me too. So,
Your Honor, if you had the time to sit down and listen to all these calls that I probably.
ma'am, I can't give a judgment against somebody who had nothing to do with this. It sounds like to me, from what you're telling me, that the prior owner, whoever that is, also had owned some, what do you call them again? Fast lane. And he had the car taken out the fast lane to have his employees work on. And you tell me if you think I'm wrong about this. He had your car taken out the fast lane without your permission, and he shouldn't have done that. And I'm not saying he didn't do anything wrong, but he took it out there to have other employees work on it. They did it. The car was apparently not properly worked upon, or whatever you want to say. They didn't put another engine in. Your car stalls. You come back. Now they've done the work. They got Ford involved. You paid the balance. But I don't see how this guy had anything to do with it. He didn't buy the place until 11/19, and he started December 1, and all this took place before then, right?
My only question to that aspect, Your Honor, is how is my receipt then say 3 years or 100,000-mile warranty? If the shop's going to trade hands 15 times in 1 year, where does the warranty apply to? Because not to Ford's. I just took it to Ford's for $950 for plugs. They say it shouldn't even need if the engine was brand new. Ford's told me right here, their printout, they put a new engine in my car the second time around, supposedly the second time around, but then they put the old plugs back on, which they don't understand why they do that, because the whole engine I paid for comes with all of that.
Do you have the agreement, the purchase agreement between you and the prior owner?
Yes,
Can I see it, please?
of course, John. You go. Yes.
I'm curious why you brought that.
Because I don't believe that's something that has to do with. And I told her many times, and she called.
No, this is just the Department of Licensing. I'm asking if you, no. You bought you guys didn't just have a handshake.
Yeah, of course. We did it at a lawyer's office.
Right.
I bought the name and I changed it to Greg's Auto Service.
Well, I want to see the agreement that you executed between you and the prior owner.
That's all the info that I have from the LLC and law.
No, from your prior owner. You guys entered into an agreement, right? I want you to listen to what I'm telling you now. When you bought this place from whoever the principal was of Greg's,
yes, sir.
you entered into an agreement. You guys didn't just shake hands and
No, we did it at a lawyer's office.
Right. Where's that agreement at?
I didn't bring it with me.
I would like to have you bring that back. This is interesting. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I think that you're making a mistake by not adding the other company, ma'am.
Say something real quick on that, only because you guys are already touching on that particular subject, and Hannah and I have actually spoke about this on the phone.
Now, things take an interesting turn. The judge asks for the purchase agreement between the current and previous owner, because that document could reveal whether any liabilities were transferred during the sale. In legal terms, this could determine everything. He even mentions the possibility of piercing the corporate veil, which is a serious legal concept used when someone tries to hide behind a business to avoid responsibility. This case just went from confusing to legally complex.
Let's say, there's other angry customers besides myself, and this person had a whole parade of just angry customers up front. All of those angry people, there's nowhere to chase down. I mean, I just bought my car last week, and then it's all new owners and all new people, all new faces. All those people are just out of luck.
I want to see the agreement. I want you to consider suing whoever the principal was of the prior company.
And that was my next step, Your Honor. However, my question to you then becomes, how am I going to proceed with this next step with Fastlane if my receipt for the engine I paid for says Greg's Auto?
Does it say Greg's Auto or Greg's Auto Clinic?
It says Greg's Auto Clinic.
Right. Why don't, if you're essentially look, I shouldn't be the one giving you advice. Go talk to a lawyer, but the lawyer might tell you that if there's fraud involved, you can pierce the corporate veil and that you could sue the guy individually that owned the prior place. But you go talk to the lawyer. I mean, you understand what I'm saying?
My aspect of it just becomes the warranty.
I know. I get it. You've said that to me, and I understand what you're saying. I want the agreement from you. You need to talk to a lawyer, and you need to consider adding this new party. Let's adjourn this for 3 weeks. That should give you enough time to go talk to a lawyer, for you to get your agreement together. If you can send it to her and send it to me through the court portal beforehand, it will be helpful. I can read it. In the meantime, you need to go talk to somebody.
I've even told
Okay, slow down.
I want to chase the proper person. I just
Go talk to
the
him.
receipts I have.
Go talk to a lawyer. He didn't own the place then, though. But I'm going to be curious. Well, there's some other things. Give me 4 weeks out, Jennifer.
April 21st, Your Honor. It's a Tuesday.
Previous owner selling businesses. He's got to be on paper. So there's a trail. Like he's collecting money. He's collecting taxes.
You need to go talk to somebody. April 21 at what time?
10:30.
At 10:30. Okay. And we'll handle it then. And if you can get me the agreement and get her the agreement between now and then, I mean, I'm not unsympathetic, but I can't just start. Sympathies are not gonna.
Right. I understand that, Your Honor. I'm just chasing the only paper trail that I have.
Well, you have a paper trail to Fastlane, right?
Right, but the engine receipt is from this Greg's Auto Clinic, and now I guess I'm gonna have to do what you said, just leave here and speak to an attorney.
I think that's what I would do.
Thank you, sir.
I mean, I don't know. Did that place change names several times?
Things, it's been there for over 30 years.
Greg's Autos, yeah, it's been there for a long time, for sure.
And I know that, I knew the previous, so.
I believe there was a guy, his name was Kurt.
There's all kinds of crooks out there now, right? I mean,
Scared to even own it. I mean, you're better off owning a Flintstone car these days.
have a great day. I'll see you guys here. Go talk to somebody. Good luck.
Thank you. Sir.
Do you want this with the file or do you want to give it back to the?
What is that? Oh, put that, I think copies in the file.
You guys can keep it.
You got copies of this?
I have copies.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
So all you need from me, Your Honor, is
So far is all I need is the purchase agreement between you and the prior owner. Thank you. Portfolio versus Amenia Army. 2504143. Do I have Ms. Army here and do I?
So here's where things stand. The plaintiff clearly suffered financial loss and a frustrating experience involving multiple repairs and questionable service. However, the judge makes one thing very clear. You can't win a case if you're suing the wrong party. The responsibility likely lies with the previous owner or the shop that actually performed the work, not the current business owner. The case is now delayed so the plaintiff can gather the correct evidence and possibly bring in the right defendants. This is a powerful reminder. Documentation, timing, and identifying the correct party are everything in legal disputes. If you found this case as shocking as we did, make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more jaw-dropping courtroom breakdowns.